Alright folks, welcome to week 5 here in the men's division of Gridiron Queensland here. We've got the Ravens visiting the Gold Coast Stingrays, two absolute powerhouses in the men's divisions. And the Stingrays starting their season 2-0 after winning at the Thunder, then proceeding to win against the Vultures. So this is another big test for them. The Ravens, historically, these guys have met in many finals before, and their first encounter of the year has often led to a big game. Kenny Andres, and I'm joined here with Gerard Fitzpatrick once again for the men's game. Gerard, welcome to week 5 here in the men's division.
Thank you, Kenny. It's great to be here on this wonderful Gold Coast evening.
Now, I want to start at the top of the production here and just apologise to anyone who might have been tuning into the women's game there. We did have some technical issues that unfortunately weren't solved there, and we did lose a fair bit of audio in that second half. We do apologise for those, but also thank you if you've ventured on and you soldiered on to join us here in the men's division. We can assure you we are all set to go here for the second game here in this week 5 production of GQ TV, as the Stingrays here in the first quarter get us started with a touchback here in Nerang, the Nerang Roosters, the home of the Gold Coast Stingrays. And can I just say, what a magnificent job the Stingray staff have done with this field. It looks immaculate right here this evening during the sunlight and soon to be under lights.
Yeah, the field looks good, and also the food they're providing.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's here once again for the Stingrays. We've actually got an order coming in by the end of the first quarter for us to enjoy and keep our nourishment up. But we're hoping that both of these teams have had their nourishment this week and treat us to quite the show. First down and 10, and here comes Jared Stegman, quarterback for the Bayside Ravens, coming back after losing a shootout with the Brisbane Rhinos last week, 47-40, in an offensive explosion of points there between the two teams.
And also Jared Stegman back wearing number 10, as we would have seen last week wearing number 3, but he had to give that jersey up because Darius is back.
Well, after spending a good long period of our media chats saying that he was not coming back, his body's not ready for it, there he is on the sideline, the head coach dressed in number 3, his traditional number, the jersey with his name on it, possibly ready to play against the Stingrays tonight. But in the meantime, running back 1, Nigel Fawcett takes his second carry of the game, his first carry getting him 2 yards or thereabouts, this one only picking up about a yard or 2 more as well. We've got a 3rd and 8 upcoming as we have our order coming in by the lovely Tiafi Thurston, who is our lovely delivery lady. Thank you very much. And thank you to Box.
Delivered by a vegan.
Thank you very much. Tiafi Thurston, who registered an intercept, almost 2, in her game earlier today against the Raptors. 3rd down and 7. Stegman assessing defense, 4 down linemen. They'll only rush 4 here on 3rd down, the Stingrays. Pass going to absolutely no one there from Stegman. And that'll be incomplete. And the Ravens look to be sending on their punt unit.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. Obviously, miscommunication. I think the receiver ran. I think Jared was expecting him to run a corner. Either that or he's just got a bad arm.
As we see, these Stingrays punt return unit set up there and looking to return now. Bear with us because there's going to be a lot of Colts stepping up into this senior team. So we have got the Colts lineup here, and they haven't updated us there with what jerseys they could be wearing, but many of them lucky enough to be wearing their Colt number, but it's not always the case. Right now it's number 12, back deep to return, and back deep is this long snap over the head of punter Warwick Russell. So this game will start with a safety, ladies and gentlemen. 2 points to the Stingrays there to open the account here at home this evening.
Now, is that just the confidence in the Ravens going, you know what, we'll give you 2 points as a head start?
I have a striking suspicion that is not the case.
I think you might be right, Kenny. I think that was a mistake. And similar to the Ravens,
Gold Coast. There we go.
The people of GQ is back, Adam Bolton.
Yes, he is. He's now retired as a commentator after 1 game and is back on the coaching sidelines. Apparently, according to the stories I've been told, or at least the anecdotal evidence, is that after ragging on the Stingrays offensive line all week 2 in their opening game, as a commentator, they said, if it's so bad, why don't you come back and coach it? And I guess that's what happened.
I got a message from Darius after commentating their game as well, so asking me to go coach, which I completely ignored his message and haven't replied. Sorry, Darius.
Well, you're getting your response now live on here. Mitch Bessie to elect to kick this off a tee here for the 2 points onto the scoreboard soon enough, and returning this now is Colin Kugler, and he'll get it back to the 36, it would appear.
Okay, now we get to have a look at the Rays offense. Personally for me, I haven't seen the Rays offense play this season, so kind of interesting to see what sort of formations and what sort of plays they come out with LT at quarterback.
Well, quite evident what they tried to do in their first game of the season between him, James Taylor, and Jonah Gardner, who's at running back right now. They created a three-headed monster in the backfield, and one of those heads right now will take his first carry. Gardner advancing the ball maybe 3 yards, depending on where they spot the ball. Not a bad start to get their drive going.
And tackled by Chris Clark. Chris has moved from free safety. He's now playing in more of a box safety position, mainly due to injuries, but personally I think it's a better fit for him. But that's just my opinion, and you know, I'm just here to give opinions.
Certainly not facts. Second down here. And this will be another Gardner give. Gardner breaks through the initial line, past the first down marker, is still going, and eventually takes the tackle there. And by number 12, Ben, well, I have a feeling that's not Ben Stokes.
I don't think Ben Stokes is here today.
Yeah, no, he was back for the one game against the Rhinos, but someone is wearing his jersey.
Number 12?
And again, when good old fun when I ask if there are any changes, and they say no. Oh, it's good fun. Tommy Kilo back deep to return to pass here, and James Taylor can't reel that in.
There's great pressure by Chris Clark, getting in and getting his hand on the ball, disrupting the play.
You see on the replay here, slight tip there.
And number 12, it actually, the person in number 12, it is actually his number. Like I said last week, Stokes paid him with a 6-pack of beer to use the number.
Yeah, the old currency there. Well, it says Saxby. Now, I believe that was Tom Saxby's jersey as a junior, as a Colt last year at quarterback. I have a feeling that's not Tom Saxby in that jersey now.
That's not Tom Saxby. That is someone who came down from North Queensland, but he only came a few weeks ago, so he wouldn't have got a jersey when they were ordered, so that's probably why he's got Tom Saxby's jersey.
So, well, it might be Christopher Farrar, perhaps.
That's the one. That's his name.
There we go. Who was supposed to be wearing 48, which is now being worn by Tristan Ellis. So slowly unraveling this puzzle, as third down is the puzzle for Tonga Kilo right now. He gets the ball out to Napier, who catches it after a bobble, and will get this in within 1 yard of a conversion here. The Stingrays, in my opinion, this ball now on the 31-yard line with 1 to go on fourth, will likely try to push for it here for a fourth down conversion.
Yeah, that was great. Great there. Scrambled out the pocket. Corner or safety, whoever was covering the receiver, came down to run, contain, and left him wide open. Good play call.
And on fourth down, they'll give it to Gardner, and Gardner's getting the job done, breaking through the secondary now for a Stingrays touchdown. No flags on the field. That is our first 6-pointer of the day, and it comes in the form of Jonah Gardner. That he did. 6 points in the scoreline, already a safety. That gives them an 8-point lead right now, a chance to go into make it 2 possessions here. And they will send in kicker in Bailey Harding. Sorry, Tommy Torzok, my apologies. With, well, I'm not sure if I've seen Reese on the field in his search. There he is. So he was the kicker last time we were on broadcast. They've since, I think Torzok was kicking ahead of him previously. In any case, 9-0 now for the Stingrays. And let's look at that touchdown one more time. So 9-0 score now here at Nurang, home of the Gold Coast Stingrays. Right now, their game day sponsored by Jersey Mike's here, selling up a storm. Nice to know it just wasn't the joy of giving back to this game of ours. Well, Russell fielding this on his own at 1. Now we'll do their customary switch and they'll give it to Bessie, who breaks the tackle. Bessie up the left-hand sideline now. Bessie resting the rest of the Stingrays and eventually taken down there by Napier at the Ravens 37. So not a bad return there for the Ravens, and Stegman will come back on after going 3 and out in their opening drive. First down and 10 here for the Ravens. Stegman will give it to Fawcett. Fawcett looking tough himself and will grab 15 yards on that first down carry.
Let's go, D!
9-0, first quarter. Ravens on their second drive now, trying to add their first points of the day. Stegman in number 10 this week. Play action pass, but under pressure now. He's being chased down and pursued and almost throws an interception. A couple of Stingrays players on coverage there, one of which number 29, William Mahe, back on the field, and was also Reese Perkins underneath that.
Years ago, Reese might have been able to pick that.
Yeah, Reese Perkins a couple of years ago. What are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything. I think I'm being quite blunt.
Second and 10. Still one of the leaders and playmakers on this team here, Reese Perkins. Back to the pass they go. Climb in the pocket now with Stegman, evading a rush, trying to get Bones, and that's he does. A couple of yards on that play will make it a more manageable third down.
Sure.
Third down and 1. More generous pass than I expected on that last one. That gets him within 1 yard here on third down. Stegman with a 3-by-1 set. He will look for his isolated receiver. And is that Liam Edwards catching it above his head? Yes, it is. A nice catch there, working on William Mahe, playing corner, a former safety in this defense. But that pass there, good enough to get them a first down.
Yeah, that was a good catch by Skinny P on the side. Just pulled it in with his fingertips.
Known to make a clutch catch or two, Liam Skinny P Edwards. 9-0 by the Ravens inside the red zone now. Force it. Force it. Can't find any space there. Damien Malloy in on the tackle.
I think that's gone backwards there.
And we were talking about with Adam Bolton back in the week 2 coverage effectively, that a lot of the players who are former DBs and punishing DBs of that have since had to make the move down to linebacker, as this Stingrays outfit are fairly lighter than it has been in the past. And the conditions now something both of these quarterbacks don't have to contend with. You might be able to hear through headphones. The wind picking up here in Narang as Bessie looks to throw and over the head of Warwick Russell, and that'll lead to 3rd and long. Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll see about giving Gerard there a new microphone. Clearly, someone's not liking what you're saying, mate. As we see it, third down now, 3rd and 11. Roll out to the left to the offside of Stegman. Leads to no fortune there. Pass intended to tight end Braden Quinn. And that'll bring up 4th. And let's see if they look to punt this away. I see Pete Brewer coming on with what looks to be a kicking ball. So it looks like they might try to add 3 here. And 4th down and 11. Ball on the Stingray 17. And Warwick Russell is looking like, well, they don't have a long snapper right now, I don't think. I know it's Brewer, they'll have him to left guard. Andrew Davis comes in to fill that role here. Now marking up his kicking procedure. It's a straight back one, no kick to the, step to the left, and this is wide left here for Warwick Russell. Red zone trip that ends up with 0 points, so the Stingrays looking good here in this first quarter, leading 9-0, and we'll get the ball back.
Sorry, we're just having some technical issues. Okay, so the Ravens' game plan seems to have changed a little bit. They haven't been bombing it as much, trying to go for more of a run. And the Stingrays, who have been running the ball more, went for a pass and another interception. This is pretty much what the Ravens need to kill the Rays' momentum and hopefully get some points on the board. But yeah, that was not much pressure, but a wobbly ball way over the head of the receiver. Now 1st and 15 to the goal line. It's much harder doing play-by-play than you would think. Yep.
All right, thanks for bearing with Gerard Fitzpatrick's play-by-play attempt there as we sort out his issues. Just play.
Is this working?
There we go. And a pass that dropped by Edwards on 2nd down and 10, making it 3rd, and the intercepted earlier, turning the fortune back in the favor of Birdtown. Not quite the case if they can't capitalize here. Staring down the barrel of another possible field goal attempt.
If they don't get much closer, do you think they would really go for another field goal? It hasn't really been successful for them last week, and it's even windier this week.
Yeah, not only that, yeah, not looking in good form right now. Fawcett in the backfield. Receivers everywhere, though, 2x2. Here as Fawcett runs out of the back. Pass intended to Bessie on third down. He's hit as he's thrown. Malloy coming through with some significant pressure there. And that will get this to fourth down. A decision to be made here by Darius Holiday Miller.
There's been a lot of pressure by the Stingrays defense today. I don't think Steggs has had a real clean pocket or a clean pass. He's been under pressure, most of them. If not, he's been on the run.
Malloy there just working his way around the defensive tackle there, working in tandem with his D-line. Fourth down, the Ravens are going for it. Fourth down, 10 yards to go. Stegman looking left and throwing for an open Bessie, who won't get the touchdown, but will get more than enough for the first, and that will make it first and goal here for the Bayside Ravens.
And very late flags come in after that. In the backfield.
Question, we might have a hold.
By the look on the face of some of the Ravens, it might be on them.
I think we've got a hold coming up. We'll try to get Whitehead hit on it. Drowned out by the cheers there of the near side sideline, but I think if you look at the left tackle here on this next play, 74.
That's Jerry.
Jerry Fa'agata changing to a left tackle here. A fair bit of jersey on that last play. And that will make it fourth and longer, I imagine. Well, look, they're setting up for a long field goal here.
Interesting decision. They missed by quite a bit from half of this distance.
And yet, here they are, and the wind has died down for the moment being. This ball will be kicked from the 39, and it's wide left even more, and they're going to try to return this. Reese Perkins, an opportunistic player in a nutshell, and he will take this all the way back to effectively where the field goal was kicked. So if nothing else, he's got stats on his stat sheet.
And Ravens really not looking like the same team they were last week when they came out firing. Their offense is really struggling against this defensive line. The last pass that Steggs had to Bessie was probably the cleanest pocket he had, and we find out why, because there was holding.
And here's the thing. This Stingrays team, you could argue, has been humbled over the last couple of seasons, not quite being the undefeatable team as they were for several years, almost a decade. And right now, they're on the back of 2 wins now and getting a great first quarter, leading 9-0. That confidence that made them so dangerous for so many years, it's starting to come back.
Yeah, this Rays team's not the Rays team that you would recognize from maybe five years ago when you had your core group of Stingrays players. Now it's really...
Oh, Jonah Gardner doing more damage up the middle, eventually taken down there by the safety and Jacob Eaton, but not before ripping off 25, maybe 30 yards.
Yeah, another huge run. There's really seeing the difference with Bolts coming back on the O-line. These runs are just like opening up massive holes.
Well, he told me when I asked about his commentary whereabouts, he said, love doing the stream, love calling a game, but I think I love coaching O-line just that little bit more. And I'm like, I guess I can see that. And a nice pitch play here from the former Keebler Park players. Jonah Gardner again, still not done with his day. 9 yards on that play.
Yeah, he's almost averaging over 10 yards a carry.
And we've seen...
Really, when you talk about football, it's always a game of trenches, even though I'm a skills player myself, and I think you were a lineman. It's like, really, it's a game in the trenches, and at the moment, the Rays are dominating in the trenches.
Very much so. The addition of offensive line coach Adam Bolton, quite tangible right now. And a quick pass out to James Taylor, playing a fair bit of receiver, and by that I mean doing receiving duties today. Hasn't netted to a whole lot of production, but that seems to be his role here in week 5.
And probably better off not catching that one. It's for a loss of 5 yards.
Drawing a bit of a bubble screen there.
Yeah, it went forward. But yeah, 5 yards loss on that one.
Pete Brewer on the tackle in the backfield.
Brewer is deceptively fast. When you look at him, you'd think he'd be like fast to the bar. but he's got some speed on him.
Well, I think faster than I was probably accurate too. On third down there, they try to get more ground up the middle, but they're stopped short. And this will be fourth down and a decision to be made here by Hilly and the Stingrays.
It looks like they're going for it. LT came out to get a play, and he's back in the huddle. So 4th and 5 yards. Set up with the tight ends on the left-hand side.
Tonga Keeler here on fourth. Late bail there from the Ravens and a dummy by Tonga Kilo before just manhandling his way forward. Just wrestling his way forward and keeping those legs pumping for a run that gets them 2 yards short of pay dirt. The Stingrays looking to add more here in the first.
And again, the Ravens falling when it counts. That's the last time they had to stop him for 1 yard, let him in for a touchdown. Now there was just had to stop him for five yards to go, and it's a 1st and 2 yards, or 3.
That's Christopher Clark. He was dragging along there, one of the better athletes. And Gardner, stopped short. Tripped up in the backfield, and that'll see them maybe grab a yard out of that.
Yeah, it looks like, I think it was number 4, Peter Brewer again, flying in low. Yep, taking his legs out.
I always think about that double overtime game. Peter Brewer gets into the backfield for what would be the ultimate game-winning touchdown for the Stingrays. Brewer got into the backfield, but it wasn't enough. You got a piece of him, but not enough. And the Stingrays came away with I think it was their 6th consecutive one back in 2017. As they look to add another touchdown here, the Ravens adding up Brewer again, this time from the other side, getting in the backfield.
This guy is going to have bruises all over his shins. Should bring in shin pads playing against Brewer.
You have a hard enough time getting people to wear knee pads, mate.
That's very true.
And a timeout here called. I think that was signaled to the Stingrays, as they want to try and sort this 3rd and goal call out. Ball being moved back that full yard. They're from the 2, a 2-point conversion, or their 2-point conversion distance away here from adding to their 9-point lead.
It looks like there's an injury in the end zone. That might have been
Actually
injury timeout.
An injury timeout. It's one of the Ravens down, and I think it might be that mystery man at number 12.
Chris Farrar, was it?
Chris Farrar, I believe from North Queensland, I think was the assessment done on him earlier.
Hopefully nothing too serious.
He's getting to his feet now, and both teams are coming back out of that timeout. So,
and that's Brad Ebden assisting him off the field, so he's not playing today either. Another linebacker down.
A couple players that looks like Matt Bailey, who was supposed to be making the shift permanent right tackle, and that still may be the case, but he might be double duty here, playing right tackle and his old position of inside linebacker. Fantastic one at that. Tonga Kilo at the line, rolling out to the left, now shortening his strides as he... Wow, is that going to be called a fumble? There are no whistles. The Ravens now, it's Eaton going down the right-hand sideline. He's just got linemen to beat. What a turn of events here for the Bayside Ravens, looking to give up their 2nd touchdown of the day. They have added their 1st, but I still haven't heard whistles, I don't think.
We had a bad angle.
Yeah,
the question here, it was a fumble. He wasn't down before the ball came out, but was the ball over the plane?
Well, we're trying to get a signal here. Malloy, as he's done many times on this stream, they're giving his opinion.
So,
we're looking.
Malloy has a lot to say about this.
Malloy is very... Well, he's always got a point. But Tonga Kilo, now... If you ask me, that ball comes out about here.
That comes out before the line of scrimmage.
We can't judge from our angle whether that's broken the plane or not. And we also haven't got the angles of the sideline officials of when they signaled touchdown. In any case, the Ravens are on the other side of the field with Eaton running the full length of the field there, a full 90-yard defensive touchdown. So,
Yeah, interesting turnaround.
to
I
the
thought
distaste of the Stingrays, the Ravens are on the board now through a 90-yard fumble recovery touchdown there to Eaton.
No. There was a fumble. Came out.
PAT is up, and PAT is good. 9-7. Wow. We'll get another look at this. Gerard, try to make some sense out of this one, mate, as we try to cycle it all the way back to the fumble.
from this angle, it looks like it starts coming out before the plane, but this isn't the best angle. You can see, I think that's Chris Clark just wrestling with him. The ball starts to come out here.
It's at least
and
there.
You can see his knee goes
loss of
down.
control, and the knee is also down, but we can't judge.
If this was the NFL, they'd say there's not enough to overturn it in the first place.
Well, actually, I'm getting some input here from John Rowe, who's always watching in on a lot of these GQ streams, and he's reminding us that in 2015, the Ravens thought they scored, but because the referee also put up their hands up to signify a touchdown, but no whistles were called. Therefore, you got to play to the whistle, and the Wildcats at the time, they went back 99 yards score. So there's precedence here, and it's run the exact same way as it did in 2015. So if nothing else, it's consistent.
The big thing here is, do the Rays let this affect them? We know the Rays can be quite an emotional team, both ways. When they're winning, they get emotional and they get confidence, and the confidence keeps growing. But when things go their way, they can start getting emotional and can play with their heads a little bit.
Well, can't get much more of an emotional swing like that, knocking on the door, than the other team going back the full length of the field to the inch to score. And now this is the kick returner here, number 82 in Kugler, who's not happy with the treatment he's gotten at the end of that kickoff.
It was a good tackle. It was just very close to the sideline. Just kind of finished over.
And as making the tackle, big man number 92, Adoniel Thompson. As the Ravens look to try to get the ball back, and judging from the way these two teams are walking, that marks the end of the first quarter, an eventful first quarter.
That seems to go very quick.
One that looked like it was being dominated by the Stingrays until a very fateful play 2 plays ago.
Yeah, Stingrays had all the momentum. They just seemed to absolutely be dominating the Ravens.
And look, David Hill, I think he's just got to try and make this team forget about that real quick, because everything they're doing before that, outstanding.
Yes. It's pretty much like the game the Ravens had last week against the Rhinos. The Ravens were dominating, then they got a defensive touchdown to the Rhinos, and then the Rhinos started building momentum. So the Ravens need to start building on that, start building some momentum. The Rays just need to forget it happened, come out and keep doing what they were doing, because what they're doing is working. It's working really well.
First down here for the Rays. Their running game has been dominant. This time they switch it up, give it to the fullback dive to James Taylor, getting his first carry of the day, and it's stuffed at the line.
There's nothing going there. It's the first time I've seen him going under center this game as well. A bit of a change up, but I think that was Bailey, one of the offensive linemen, getting in, making a tackle.
The snap count definitely favors that of a linebacker right now. And he looks right at home back at his linebacker position. Gardner breaking one tackle and eventually taken down there by Ellis. Not going to suggest that the maybe loses a step of explosion right now, because right now he's had several carries of beyond 10 yards. Maybe just a little bit of gas returning to the tank as they start the second quarter.
And like, let's be honest, that was a 5-yard carry, and we're talking like he's lost
Lost
yards
yardage
because he didn't go for 10.
Nominated for Offensive Rookie of the Year last year in the men's division. After only playing half the season, only came through as he takes another carry on third down. That shows you the confidence in him. It was third and more than 5 there, and they elected to run it with him just up the guts.
Yeah, it's 4th down now. Be interesting to see if they go for the punt. This is we're not on the halfway line, so yeah, that's in their half. I'd say this would be more punt territory than anything, but
At the same time,
We'll
you've got a
see.
back that's averaging well over 4 yards a carry. You couldn't really blame them for just loading him up one more time.
And back under center again. Is this another? Nope, it's a sneak.
Tonga Kilo burrows over the line, looking like a hooker on rugby league, going for a try there. Enough to move the chains. This drive stays alive.
Yeah, like I said, like they haven't let that interception phase them too much on offense. They've come back out. They're running what was successful for them.
Well, it's been a couple big plays for the Ravens defense that's kept them in this. So the interception with the Stingrays coming out of their own end zone there, and then also the 90-yard fumble recovery return there by Eden. First down and 10. Pitch out to Gardner. Gardner assessing his blocks and a good tackle over the top there. Big tackle there by the 50 and Matt Bailey.
And I'm not sure what 92's job was there. I don't know if he was meant to take the pitch man or take the quarterback, but good decision to pitch that off there.
Temperature dropping here at Narang. Second down and 5. Gardner again beats the first linebacker in Ellis and then is quickly taken down near the line of scrimmage there, maybe half a yard on that last carry.
Yeah, it's not a loss of yards. Third down, 5 yards to go. Be interesting if they dial up some play action. They haven't had much luck through the air. They haven't really tried though. But this, the run game's going well, and the way they're going now, it's 4 down territory. Maybe they get 4 yards and then another 4 yards.
Well, that's exactly what they did last time. Third down now. The order of the day has been through the middle with Gardner. And he's not on the field at the moment. They're going to go through the air. The first pass attempt there, well, the first target to Jaden Paludan. And it hits his hands and incomplete. He made plenty of clutch catches 2 weeks ago. He actually had a couple of receivers open there, if we see here on the wide.
You can hear the Stingrays sideline yelling for an offside, and I tend to kind of agree with them.
Didn't get it on that play. Fourth down now, and I think the Stingrays might concede this one. There is a big change of personnel here. They might be actually punting this away. Going back is number 17.
Yeah, it looks
Tommy
like the
Torzo.
Rays just dropped an average of 4 foot in height.
Yeah, with their special teams unit coming out here. A lot of their linemen coming off, surprisingly, and they're
It looks like the Colts teams just came on the field.
yeah, plenty of former Colts and current Colts on there. William
And
Mahe,
So a round of applause.
James Taylor, personal protector, and Tulzok with great precision gets this out to the 32,
Yeah,
33 even.
I think he may have shanked that. I don't think he meant it to go out that shallow.
Well, that wind is really, it's in the face. To give you an idea, it's coming hard in the face of the Stingrays right now. It is probably towards your screen in a way, but definitely rolling right to left as far as favor goes. I can see a couple of the birds here at Narang struggling to fly in this breeze, in fact. First and 10. Stegman trying to get the offense on the board. A forced set. A regular first down servant, this time taken down in the backfield. Good tackle for a loss. And guess again.
He's going
Damien
nowhere.
Malloy.
This Ravens offense is really struggling to get anything going at the moment. Need to settle down in the O-line, get some blocking going.
It wasn't Malloy, it was Dylan Lagerstrom, in fact. Here's some of the starting defensive linemen there. Jackson Walters at right end. Stegman looking left, not changing targets yet, and he's got Bessie open, but he can't get that pass down. Bessie was sitting in between the zone of a couple defenders, one of which, Reese Perkins.
Yeah, and again, Stegs throwing the ball under a lot of pressure.
Josh McAlpine over the top on that last play. Actually quite a few long passes completed for Stegman to his wide receivers this week. One name I haven't called yet, and I actually don't think he's here, is Lachlan Tate, who made plenty of explosive plays for him. Right now, Braden Quinn is beginning a lot of the snaps in at his usual tight end / slot position.
Yeah, normally he wears number 15. I don't see a number 15 there or on the sidelines.
Stegman, top of his drop, throws an interception here, running it back for the Stingrays as a safety there, and number 32, Christian Suarez, and Suarez takes this inside the 20. The Stingrays have the ball inside the Ravens red zone.
Stingrays are really starting to dial it up on offense and defense here. Ravens are really doing nothing offensively. They're getting the ball pounded down their throat on defense. I think they kind of need to take a step back, regroup.
Well, he tried to drive it into the very tight seam between linebacker and safety there, where Warwick Russell appeared to be open, but driving in the ball there was Suarez, and Suarez.
I think the pressure might be getting a little bit to Stegs.
Tony Kilo back in the red zone. The middle, keeping in mind the Stingrays fumbled, well, it depends who you ask. Either fumbled or scored a touchdown last time they came here, but ultimately the decision made by the officials was a fumble just before the goal line, of which was returned by the Ravens the full 90 yards.
Yeah, it was definitely a fumble. Just don't know if he was before the line or after the line, but inconclusive. It looked like it was before, and we have to go with what is on the scoreboard.
9-7.
9-7 doesn't seem to justify the score for the Rays at the moment.
Yeah, who seemed to be dominating the first quarter. James Taylor bowling over defenders. He's still going. Can he get all the way to the end zone? Looking for a signal. I think he was stopped a yard short.
Yeah, he was dragging people for a few yards. Looks like it's 1 yard out. The ball came out, but I'm pretty sure he was down by the time it came out this time.
Wrestling there, Chris Clark having to do a lot of work at the goal line there. Yeah, you're right, actually. Whew. Ball coming out again. These Ravens defenders not giving up all the way, defending to the final inch before the goal line.
Back out in this two-back set.
Up the middle, they send James Taylor, who meets Thompson. Thompson stands him up, and he backs his way into the end zone for a score. The Stingrays, this time not denied. They add the points that went missing. A drive ago.
Just too big, too strong, too fast, and it looks like most of the Ravens were trying to go up too high on him. Someone needs to get low. He just kept his feet moving, used his strength.
Becomes 15 with that James Taylor touchdown. Struggled with an injury in that first week. It was healthy, but then I think did a little bit of damage to his calf, so he thought for precautionary reasons he would take it easy in the second half. Jordan Gardner carried a lot of the load and did so successfully as this PAT is, making the score 16-7 here, a couple minutes down in the second quarter. The Stingrays leading the Ravens.
You can really see with that kick how the wind's affecting the ball. It kind of just sat up there with the wind blowing into it. That's how windy it is down there.
(16-7).
Now, what are you doing if you're the Ravens? You're getting the ball back here. Your run hasn't really done much. Your pass has been pretty much under pressure straight away, so not a clean pocket. Steggs has got no time to do anything. Maybe if they've got some designed rollout passes.
They'll have to try and find something. It's been a lot of four-set and play action.
Maybe try some hard counts, see if you can just get that D-line to just hesitate just a little bit.
Torzok electing to kick off the left hash. Not a bad decision given the status of the wind. And as they look to get this ball in the seat for the third attempt, shout out here from a couple of coaches, some significant coaches tuning in. We've got Hollywood Rowe, of course, as I mentioned earlier, as well as Coach Kevin Wilson and Michael Kerr watching from watching with the Townsville Cyclone Gridiron team. They're up there for some some national duties, I should say.
Well, they would probably know where number 12 was
Oh,
from.
this
then.
is off the leg of one of the men on the front line, and will eventually be recovered, or shall I say collected, from Tristan Ellis there, back on the Ravens at 30. And sorry, you were saying, mate?
If they're up in Kansas, then they'll probably know where that number 12 is from. The one where
With,
I
Mr.
don't
Farrar.
have him. Yes, Farrar.
Why do I even print these team lists out for you, mate?
It's too windy for pieces of paper.
To apologise for anyone who doesn't get called out by Gerard Fitzpatrick, or should I just say you? Should I just call you collar commentator today? First down and 10. You got trips out to the right, but it will be a delay for Forsett. Forsett gotten almost all the work on first down for the Ravens today, and has done so quite effectively.
A much better start. Second and short instead of second and 15. At least it lets them open up the playbook a little bit this time. They can run or pass. They're not forced into trying to force something.
Well, 2nd and 2, I can think of worse downs to dial up a play for. Galpine versus Bessie. Near to your screen. Forsett again gets the call though, and he is hit at the line. Tries to stretch forward for an extra yard or two. If some of the Ravens sideline suggesting first down, doesn't appear to be the case from where we're standing or sitting.
Yeah, it looks like he got a few yards, but not enough for the first.
Well, there are only 2 yards out there. A few. Oh yeah, look. Well, you look where the marker is. It'll depend on where they think his knee went down. He's a lot closer than I gave him credit for.
Yeah.
And in fact, they're giving him the first down.
No, he done well to keep his knees off the ground there and stretch out. Looked to me initially like he had went down, but
Let's try to slow it down.
good work by the refs.
And knee is down. Well, actually, yeah, he flexes those knees up. So, yeah, argument to be made there. At worst case, it's a borderline call. Back to live action. Short pass here to Warwick Russell over the middle. And the Ravens appear to have a little bit of momentum here.
Yeah, a couple of good runs and completed a pass. I think this is what they need to get a bit of confidence after not a great start.
Warwick Russell working on the linebackers on the inside now. 2nd down. About 3 yards away from converting. Stegman with Forsett. Forsett will get the delayed handoff. We'll have to try and beat the efforts of a D lineman early, and that's exactly what it does. But now he fumbles the ball. We're going to have a bit of a scrum for the recovery here. Neither side all that confident with the result.
Can someone check? Is it raining out there?
We got a couple of blokes who like to hit hard down on this gridiron. And well, Malloy is one of those there, but I think it's actually as he tries to shake the lower man there where it actually breaks free. The Ravens still in possession and with a first down. Ball on the Stingrays at 32.
Yeah, that was lucky. It was, as we were saying last week, it was really a fumble that was a turning point of the game versus the Rhinos.
Yeah, a couple of significant fumbles there. First down and 10, and look who's back on the field as a player, not just a coach. It's Darius Holiday Miller with his first carry of 2019. How many more carries he has in him, well, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, let's see if he remembers what to do.
This is why boys and girls at home and anyone looking to get into sports and media and sports and journalism, never trust a player when they say they're going to retire.
No,
At least in the amateur, the amateur arena. There's at least 4 retirements good for everyone.
When he said he was going to be a head coach, we started putting bets on when it would be. I said as soon as they get a loss.
The over-under would have been interesting. But out to the right hand now, he's adding his first reception now, trying to dance his way past defenders. And then the big question is, he did stress that his body maybe not have been ready to play in 2019. Right now it looks pretty good, but again, stress, how many of those has he got in him?
It's now 3rd and 4th. Let's see if the Rays can dial up some more of that pressure.
As he said, a 3rd and 4. Three receivers out to the left, the innermost of those. Darius Holiday Miller, outside of him, Warwick Russell Bessie on the far side, but it'll be the late handoff to Fawcett. Fawcett, one big cut gets him into the backfield, and he's got a first down and more, and now we're going to have a competition of athletic running backs, it would appear. This pile is still going. Momentum is still moving forward, and eventually it'll be blown dead inside the 3.
No one was giving up on that.
First down Ravens, and here's the back end of that run.
And now we have a ruck.
Yeah, absolutely, that's something that Northern Hemisphere will be very proud of. Wind certainly picking up here, or at least it's continuing here, as the timeout is called.
By the Rays.
Stingrays trying to find the final pieces to defend this drive here from the Ravens. It's been a good one.
Oh, this is now first and short, and if the Rays get in, they take the lead. Ravens get in, they take the lead, which really is going against everything we've seen.
The general narrative of the game. We're going to take a short break too. Be back in a few seconds. All right, we're back, and 2/3 of this production team is all jumping up now in that short break as the two teams come out of that timeout.
And I'm freezing.
Indeed you are. Two backs in the backfield, Fawcett and Holiday Miller both in the backfield, and that will be used as a decoy as they try to roll out and score. He had two open receivers there. Did Stegman, both Bessie and Bones, but couldn't complete the pass.
Yeah, they tried a rollout pass. They got Stegs in open field. No pressure, but yeah, just missed his receivers. Good pickup block there by Darius Holiday Miller.
Well, the rollouts they've had so far, they've been to the uncomfortable side for a right-handed quarterback, rolling out to his left. And obviously the Stingrays, and we're going to get another timeout here, another injury timeout, I would imagine. We got one of the Ravens down.
Yeah, it looks like BK.
Andrew Big Kid Davis. And he's getting assisted off the field. Doesn't appear to be significant. Gets a replacement on in the Ravens. As we get towards the back end of the second quarter, in fact, during that break in play there, the 2-minute warning was announced, so we've got less than 2 minutes remaining in this first half. And we haven't even been able to touch our jersey mics.
No. Speaking of jerseys, I think I might go get one at halftime.
Speaking
It's windy up here.
Second down and goal. Ravens 3 yards away from taking, well, not the lead, but making this a very tight ball game. Not that it isn't already. 16-7, Ravens trail. They'll give to Holiday Miller. Holiday Miller bounces to the outside. Has to beat a defender. Can't do that. A great tackle there from McAlpine to keep this inches away from a score. And the Ravens will have to go at least one more play here. Third down.
He done well to bounce it outside to where there was a little bit more daylight, but good tackle.
Great job from McAlpine, keeping his eyes back inside.
He's the last one to beat, but this Rays defense is just really bringing pressure.
Third and goal, less than a yard away. Not on the center segment, no thought of a sneak. Will he give it to Fawcett? Quick pass, and it is batted away at the line. A couple of veterans getting in there and making a play. We've got fourth down here and goal.
You got to say they're going to go for it here. The last couple of kicks have missed by half a field.
Is that Malloy? Yes, it is. 16-7, fourth down, about 9 inches to turn this drive into 6 points. And the question is, well, I thought, will they consider kicking a field goal? That would have been the easiest one, not of which being a PAT attempt they would have had tonight.
I think they want the points going in at halftime.
Trying to make this at least 16-13. The pass on fourth down. Stegman forced to run. He's got space now, but he's racing Malloy, and he will get the edge. Touchdown, Ravens. The Ravens close the gap here on a 4th and goal scramble there from by Jared Stegman.
Yeah, so the Ravens have now scored on a defensive play and looks like a broken play with a scramble by Stegs.
It ain't pretty, but it's gritty.
It's getting the points on the board, but they've got a whole other half of football to try and kind of score points more conventionally would be nice.
Well, that was a good drive nonetheless. Obviously, almost sputtered towards the back end there as they look to line up this PAT to make it 16-14, and only the safety separating these two teams. But let's not forget, Forsyth did some fantastic work in lead up to that as this PAT is up, and a good 16-14 is the score here now with only seconds remaining in the first half. Ravens with a long drive there, starting around their own 30 to eventually get that in. Forsyth, huge on the early parts of that drive.
Yeah, much better drive that time. Managed to actually break a few tackles. I think the first person was bringing them down the first time. For a few drives. He managed to actually break a few little tackles and get some positive yards this time. Taking a little bit of pressure now off of Stegs. Had a couple of cleaner passes with less pressure. Now he just needs to execute and hit his receivers.
I see waiting for a kicking ball. And the Stingrays now, who exploded into this game, started 9-0. Look to be making that a 16-0 real quick before things turned in favor of Birdtown. Now feel like they might be trying to snatch momentum back with seconds to go here in the first half. Deep kick here from Bessie, but the wind will pick it up. They'll field this at the 17. And that is the 82 again, who's handling return duties, and Colin Kugler from Miami, if memory serves correctly. First down and 10. Let's see if they don't try to air it out and try to get a couple big plays here, maybe to number 85 there.
Yeah, I think they have to start passing. They're starting on their 25-yard line. I think they've got 2 timeouts left from memory. And we are, I'd say, less than a minute to go in this half.
Significant change to the offensive line. Hits Williams, number 71, is out now. He's taken his pads off, I believe, helmets off, and he might be done for the day. Pass attempt here, down the middle. Pass caught there on the curl route for the Stingrays. Bringing that in is the veteran Enrique Hataya. And that'll be the first of 2 timeouts remaining. The ball now waiting for the official spot, but it looks like it is on the 35 of the Stingrays.
Obviously, the clock hasn't started running again.
Did you see the timeout, didn't they? 45 yards to go.
Now the chains are moving.
Oh, I thought there was a timeout called in that, perhaps not. 45 yards to go. Whistle signals in play. Tony Kilo will try to do this on his own. Cuts back in the field. He'll certainly tempt that idea. Takes it into Raven territory. Eventually takes it from the Stingrays 35 to the Ravens 37. Now they use the timeout.
And a run went fast, further than their pass plays.
Well, that's the case sometimes, isn't it? Especially with an unconventional quarterback like Lance Tongakilo. I did ask him very briefly earlier that, it must be nice to have a full off-season under your belt preparing to be the man at that position. He goes, we're still going to need the full season. It's still early in the season. He expects to grow even more as the season goes on.
So that's 2 plays, and now went from their own 25 to the Ravens 35. Not too much further for field goal range for them, I'd say, if the wind dies down a little bit.
Tony Kilo, short pass here, and that's Klugler. Klugler bouncing out of tackles and getting it out of bounds. Nice reception there. Kugler not only getting the first down, but getting out of bounds.
Yeah, good work getting out of bounds, stopping the clock.
That is a big bubble screen. Look at that block there from James Taylor there, allowing him to turn what would traditionally be about a 10-yard catch into a 15, 16, 17-yard one.
Yeah, and managed to get him to go to the sideline instead of having to cut back up as well. I think the important part now is the clock more than anything. They've got the field. Just think it's
First
time to
down
get
and
it in.
10, under pressure, gets rid of a ball and almost intercepted there by Brewer. And that'll be incomplete. Don't have an idea on time here, but we can't be far off halftime.
Second down, 20 yards to go. And who knows how long.
On 2nd and 10. Yeah, we've got Malloy playing some offense. He's at slot. The third receiver in on the left-hand side. Hataya, the lone receiver out to the right. Gardner out of the backfield, climbing the pocket now is Don Kilo. He'll just run with it, and he's got the weary veteran Jason Leon trying to drag him out of bounds, and that's exactly what he does with a bit of help by the end of the play there.
Looks like he came down inbound, so the clock will keep running. I think they're trying to line up very quickly to spike the ball if they've got time.
And while I'm hearing that whistle is blowing on the basis that it's either halftime or someone's called a timeout. The Ravens have called a timeout. Fortuitous possibly for the Stingrays here.
Yeah, I don't understand that call.
Well, they're obviously concerned about how they defended the last play, concerned that it might affect the next. You can see Leon wrestling with Tony Keeley there, two warriors of this game here, of this era.
It is 3rd and long, though. I know the Stingrays were rushing back to line up. I don't think they were going to spike the ball, because that would have taken them to 4th down. Maybe that's the Ravens thinking. They didn't want to be caught off guard without proper defensing.
Yeah, on top of that, they might have just been concerned. Their defense might have been a little bit gassed. Eight seconds, I think I heard called. 8 seconds remaining in half number 1 here, week 5.
8 seconds is how long you need to stay on a bull.
Fun fact. You can see the full complement of receivers there on your screen. Malloy in the right slot, Hataya outside him. Clean pocket, Tongi Kilo, plenty of time to throw, but misses his target there. He was looking for his teammate Malloy. Incomplete.
And that brings up 4th down. So let's see if they decide to go for the kick, or are they going to go for it?
Well, they likely won't be leaving the Ravens with any time, even if they turn it over here. But it's how much confidence they have in the leg of Terzok, who I think is quite a favoured kicker, and that's exactly why they're sending him on, the left foot of Tommy Terzok.
The wind is blowing into him, and you saw the last kick that he done. The ball sat up, and that was closer than here, so it's going to need to be a solid kick.
Well, to end the half, Terzok, ball is up, picked up in the wind, no chance.
Oh, even if that was AFL field, he'd still miss the small sticks.
He wouldn't have even added a behind on that. That should be half time. I can't imagine there being any more than 3 seconds left on that, and that ball is going to be raised, I imagined. And there it is, half time here in week 5 in the men's division. The Gold Coast Stingrays, they lead 16-14 over the Bayside Ravens. Just a safety scored on the first Ravens possession by the Stingrays. As I'm seeing someone pointing as the red moon, interesting time to point for that. As the red moon is
I just saw it.
rising here at halftime here in Narang. 14-16, the halftime score. As we get a close up there, courtesy of our cameraman, Mitch Horrigan, doing our thing.
Full blood moon.
the evening tonight. Halftime at 14-16. Stingrays have a 2-point lead here as they defend home turf. Kenny Andres, drive his battery, will join you here in the second half in a few minutes. Back soon.
Is that the Death Star?
She'll take you on a ride down the Nile River. She'll strip away your insides and shower you with glitter. Please don't act surprised when you stare into the mirror. She'll take you on a ride down the Nile River. She's like a they grab a hold of you, they grab a hold of you. She'll raise your temperature, and leave you feeling blue, and leave you feeling blue. She'll grab her, she'll grab her, she'll grab her, and leave you, leave you, leave you blue. She'll grab her, she'll grab her, she'll grab her, leave you, leave you, leave you blue.
Like a pachyderm, but without the fur. Like a worm, she's rootin', pootin' Vladimir. She's no amateur, she'll cause a massive burn and leave you comatose, lonely, holding your catheter.
Down the Nile River. She'll strip away your insides and shower you with glitter. She's like a they grab a hold of you, they grab a hold of you. She'll raise your temperature, and leave you feeling blue, and leave you feeling blue.
You never wanna when the clouds come out. You know we're gonna make you scream and shout.
They grab a hold of
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
grab a
yeah,
hold
yeah.
of you.
When I say what she gonna sting you when her tongue stick out. Kinda bitter like a Brussels sprout.
And leave you feeling
Yeah, yeah, get it,
She'll take you on a ride down the Nile River. She'll strip away your insides and shower you with glitter. She's like a they grab a hold of you, they grab a hold of you. She'll raise your temperature, and leave you feeling blue, and leave you feeling blue.
You never wanna when the clouds come out. You know we're gonna make you scream and shout.
They grab a hold of
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
they grab a
yeah,
hold of
yeah.
you.
When I say what she gonna sting you when her tongue stick out. Kinda bitter like a Brussels sprout.
And leave you feeling
Come on, yeah, yeah. She's grabbing the hold. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She'll leave you blue. Sick. Stuck in the rut, don't get in my cup.
All right, welcome back. Both teams ready to go here. Half number 2, 16-14. The Stingrays currently have the lead here on home turf in Nerang. The Nerang Roosters Rugby League Football Club, home of the Gold Coast Stingrays. And not only do they have a 2-point lead, the Gold Coast Stingrays will have the ball to begin this second half. This one fielded nicely. Now that looks familiar. It's the same logic that the Ravens use, and the Ravens clearly know how to defend against it.
Yeah, it's a little cheeky. I love seeing stuff like that. I wonder if they've put it in just for this.
It would not surprise me. I've been around the league a while. I've spoken to coaches. That is not above certain coaches.
Nope.
I would argue it's not above a lot of coaches.
Nope, I would do it.
I know you have.
And you would too, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
And it's like, here's something you're doing. Let's see if we can do it better.
It's always humbling when you don't. And I'll tell you what, I am feeling nourished here in this second half. Jersey Mike's serving up a storm for us over that halftime break that we finally got to eat. Got it delivered in the first quarter.
It was great.
Incredibly filling. It's amazing how much beef you can fit inside those sandwiches. 16-14, top of the third quarter. Let's go. We got GQ Week 5 action, and Tonga Kilo's taken down in the backfield. A Raven there, Peter Brewer, who's having a whale of a game, taking him down behind the line.
He's the only one actually taking him around the ankles and having success. Everyone seems to be trying to take him pretty high, and he's dragging him along for extra yards.
One of the strongest upper bodies in the league, you could argue. Lance Dongakilo, or simply LT. Very few players earn that nickname, and so far, I'd say LT deserves the moniker of LT. Up the middle of the field this time here between the tackles. I think that might have been James Taylor. No, it was Gardner who had a monster first half and looks to continue and build on that here in the second.
Yeah, first run went for a loss, and they've just got that back. It's now 3rd and 7.5 or 6. I also checked with the officials at halftime, and the score is correct because we weren't 100% sure.
And neither was anyone down the watching live here at Nerang, as well as Payton makes his first catch of the day. That's his 3rd target though.
Yeah, I had some people downstairs saying they thought it was 20-something, and it's like, I better get this checked. Not the first time I've said that either.
Won't be the last. Eventual tackle made there by Tristan Ellis. A couple of changes. Quimby now stepping in at cornerback against Jaden Palyadon here for the Ravens. Something Holiday Miller mentioned during our little media chat during the week is that he felt last week his defense, or his, pretty much both teams, as we look at this play up the middle, stuffed here, no, squirting out. Now he's wrestling with Chris Clark. Chris Clark has forced him to fumble so far today, and he gets a first down. Oh my Lord, what can't this man do?
And again, like we were saying, they keep trying to take him up high. He just keeps his legs moving, and he's just getting all these extra yards.
Just squirted out of what looked to be a short tackle at the line of scrimmage. And something ceased play here. I think we've got an injured player. It's one of the linemen. It's McGarry Rappana. And so we're going to take a big break. But yeah, I was mentioning, he mentioned probably a learning experience for him at head coach, whilst he's double dutying today as a running back and a head coach. But he said he probably needed to find a little more trust in his rotational players last week. He felt that players both on his offense and defense and starters, they were clearly gassed in the 4th, and he made them play some long minutes and extra snap counts, and he probably should have showed a little more trust in some of his second stringers and rotational players to try and ease that load on the team as a whole. And he said it's something he'll take with him moving forward, and I think there's an example of some of the guys rotating in now.
Yeah, and even this week they're down 4 or 5 starters on offense, so some of it's not by choice, some of it's out of necessity. And yeah, Quimby comes to us from the town of Springfield, where he's the mayor.
Not true, but I get the reference. Short pass here, slant to Jaden Palyadon, who breaks 2 tackles. Now he's in the open field. He's dangerous here, but it'll be Jacob Eden who'll take him down, but not before he gets this ball all the way to the Ravens 25.
And if that's the Rays starting to find their pass game, they're going to be very dangerous.
Well, yeah, they've already got their run game well and truly sorted. You see the route off the line there from Jaden Palyadon. Just working the slant against the soft coverage. Quimby.
And after saying all that, it's like, okay, well, you've got rotation now. Earn that trust of your quarterback.
Right. Exactly right.
No, quarterback, head coach.
Indeed. Malloy playing more slot. This will be a fixture in this second half in a bit, not just a package. He'll try to throw him. No, Tonguekilo, he cuts back after a pump fake. Flag's thrown in from the rearmost judge. Tonguekilo, in the meantime, will cut back across the field, and from the 25 will take it all the way to the goal line, while flags are down.
Flag on the field, and they've got more missed tackles on that play than they've got points.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that. Let's take a look at that. As you can see, the clear hanky on the field. We'll take this back. It was clearly a designed pass play, and that's Tonguekilo just showing off his athleticism. 2x2.
And it's coming back. It's been called as a hold.
Trying to figure out where that hold might have been. There is a lot of congestion at the line of scrimmage. An impressive play nonetheless, not without the assist of hold.
Ran into Damo Malloy downstairs before.
Yep.
As usual,
How did
he's
he-
just
yeah.
oozing confidence.
Did he have an opinion on that fumble? He was certainly giving it to us earlier.
Yes, he did. I told him it was a fumble.
And how did he take that?
He gave me a dirty look, I think, or like it could have just been his face.
Could have just been the standard Malloy look. But you're right, he certainly walks around with a swagger. First down and 20. Deep drop, it's a good pocket. Almost touching the ball though, and it's intercepted by Quimby, and there's that trust you were talking about. A lofted pass taken away there by the Ravens. Second interception of the day, third takeaway total.
And that's a huge turnaround. Went from being a touchdown in Ray's favor to Ravens getting the ball back.
A lot of pressure there. I think that was Jack Capewell coming around the corner and maybe getting a light touch on the ball there. Whether you want to contribute that to the interception or not, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But nevertheless, that
Well, Quimby still came up with interception, and I think he'll give himself the key to the city.
he'll certainly give himself a well-earned pat on the back after that play, being right there where he needed to be. The Ravens jump back on offense for the first time here in the second half. Here comes Stegman with Holiday Miller and Forsett in the backfield. It'll be a give to Nigel Forsett, and he will be stuffed after a 1 yard gain. Malloy around the ankles.
And we're starting the second half like we left off in the first half. One change you can see is they've got Darius in the backfield as well now. So they've got two threats. I think maybe trying to put some misdirection in to hold up that defensive line.
Possibly just trying to get their receivers open. Haven't found a lot of joy down the field so far, these receivers, and this will be a gift to Holiday Miller. Shot out of a cannon, splitting down the field, cutting back to the left-hand sideline now, and will be taken down by the right boot by the last line of defense. The number 30, I think it might be one of the Colts playing there, because I think it was a 37 not on our team list.
That was a great tackle. It was one tackle to go, and he had blockers. He had to be brought down there.
27, McAlpine, my apologies. Taking him down, but an explosive play there for the Ravens. They now have the ball just shy of halfway, a yard and a half, in fact, short. Force it out on the flat. The pass will go to him. It's too low, though. Incomplete pass. Second and 10 from the same spot.
Yeah, just a little bit too low there for Forsett.
Take a look at that last run one more time. Simple inside zone, isn't it?
Yeah, huge hole. Don't know what was there any difference in the last couple of run plays. Just seemed, very simple sort of triple option. No one actually went with Forsett, though, when he went on the speed option, so that'll be interesting to see if they come back to that. And
Second attempt blitz here, and no, it's a fake. It's a give to Nigel Forsett, but Reese Perkins was there. Should Stegman have kept that, and he would have been in a world of trouble if that was the case.
yeah, Nigel's really not getting much down here on the ground. He's closed his faucet. It's a pun.
That was Newton there on the stop. One of the toughest young players in this men's division. Third down and 10. Trips out to the right. This 3x1, which has become incredibly in vogue in today's modern offense. Stegman with a clean pocket, driving it downfield, and that's a drop. Didn't register one last week. Warwick Russell that time dropping a chain mover of a catch there.
Yeah, that's not good enough, Bonds. You're not meant to drop them.
And Malloy not talking trash there. Actually, a bit of encouragement for his Queensland teammate.
Could be sarcasm.
Could be, but I think he's actually genuine. You can see the development of certain players as they go to the league. Damn Malloy, trying to give his combatant there a pat on the back, and you'll get it next time. 4th down now. The Ravens, they're punting here after the Stingrays defense after giving up a couple big plays, namely one to Holiday Miller, stiffened up in the middle of the field here, and now they've earned themselves a punt. And the Ravens opening possession of this second half. Under pressure, Warwick Russell gets a good punt away, and this might be inside 20. Let's see where they spot it. Inside 20, well and truly. In fact, he's still backing up. He's moonwalking here as a sideline official. Now he's moving forward. Where's he going to go with this? Oh, there's the stop. And it's about the 14. A good punt there.
Yeah, it's good. They've given them the length of the field, and considering the Rays are predominantly running the ball, they're going to have to march almost the whole length of the field.
2-point lead here. Is that giving you much confidence for the Stingrays here at home?
From what I've seen right now, it wouldn't even surprise me if this was the final score.
With the way they're going, both these defense playing great football right now. A couple turnovers each way. Tommy Kilo up the field, chased down from behind. He might have just got that back to the line of scrimmage. If not, it might be a short sack here for the Ravens.
Well, it seems to be the pattern at the moment. They LT tries to run, get stuffed, hand it off to the running back, and he gets about 6 or 7 yards. See if it happens again.
Adoniel Thompson around the edge. Isn't he just adding more and more technique to his play as he plays longer in this league?
Yeah, he's a great player. He just goes hard every play. Doesn't give up.
2nd down and 10. Tommy Kilo with Gardner. He'll step up and he'll take it himself now and runs into the teeth of the D. Picks up a yard or 2. And involved in the stop there is a defensive tackle there, and Brunson Awani.
Someone slow to get up. Not injured, just slow to get up.
Sounds like me every day. (16-14). First opening minutes of the 3rd quarter. 4-man front for the Ravens. Bailey playing both tackle and linebacker here tonight. A pass off the middle. I think that was a bit of the old stick concept, and they'll pass to the first read on that play, and that'll be a good gain to Dylan Napier on 1st down.
Yeah, he's
on
been brought down, but it looks like it's enough for possibly 1st down.
Right, we're
Depending on the spot.
Going to get an injury timeout here. It's Napier on that 3rd down catch.
Yeah, he was hit hard in the midsection. Let's hope it was above the belt.
Yeah, there it is. The old stick. Napier hasn't missed a whole lot of games, Dylan Napier, since making his move to men's. He's been quite a reliable target. Spoken many times of his improvement. I say that he's actually become probably a better men's player than he even was a Colt, and he was a part of a couple of competitive Colts teams.
Yeah, he's a very quiet achiever. You don't hear much from him. Just gets on and does his job.
That he does. 4th down and short. The Ravens are expecting a punt. We saw the
was on the wrong side of the field.
well,
There we go.
And then Malloy comes on there. He's putting out. This is where the Rhinos pulled or attempted a fake punt last week. It won't be the case here, and that's a beautiful punt off the boot there. Fielded on the fullback at his own 27. Warwick Russell can't fight past too many more defenders, and Jackrakam Rithadech combined with a couple of others make the tackle there on special teams. The Ravens back on offense.
Not bad starting field position for them. Not exactly in the opposition half, but
think that might
This
have been
is 33 yards.
a couple of the young players all getting together. Tolzok praising his coverage team there of the young Appy and Jack Kamrithodich. Two close friends there. Obviously, Jordan Appy, a full-time men's player now, and Jack Kamrithodich playing both Colts, started there and also rotating here at the senior level. Goes down in 10. Forced to punt after stalling around halfway last drive. Holiday Mill, they'll start this drive the same way they attempted the last. Holiday Miller racing up the left-hand side. We're calling a track meet here, but the sideline will put an end to that. It'll be another first down carry here for DHM.
And you can see a sudden improvement in their offense with Darius now in the backfield. When he gets the ball, he's making some yards, which is great, but the good thing about it is it's going to open up things for Steggs and Fawcett to come back that other way.
He suggested there was just too many injuries keeping him out, or at least that sentiment to me and many others when he announced his decision to become head coach. If there's something wrong with his body, I can't see it right now.
No, and if he keeps running out of bounds like that, he'll be fine.
Well, it would explain why he's opting to do that. Now he'll have to block for Stegman, who will happily push him into William Mahe in order to keep a bit of self-preservation. Still takes a lick.
And Ray on the ground's getting some words of encouragement from his own sideline.
That's right. Dylan Lagerstrom, the sideline telling him to get up. But he was involved in the tackle last. Clearly appears to be nicked up. Jack Kamrithodich getting the defensive play call to cycle in.
And now he's up and getting a round of applause. Congratulations on getting up.
Hobbling off the field there. He'll get assessed and see what his future participation is here tonight. Rocking a fan. Is that a fantastic moustache I see on the young man?
Isn't he the new quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Shout out to, it's got an interesting last name, starts with an M, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Second down and 4. Is that miscommunication or is that a draw? In any case, it'll be a first down. Or will it? Holiday Miller getting awfully close in any way. Yes, it is a chain mover there, Holiday Miller. And we're seeing immediate calls to the sideline here, and a player's down. I thought it might have been Darius, but it's a Stingray, and Malloy was immediately calling for the sideline assistance.
Yeah, that's not... when you see players calling straight away for injuries and things like that, it's always a little bit concerning. But the Ravens' offense is starting to move now that Darius is running the plays instead of calling the plays.
I think it's one of the big men there who gets involved with the tackle after Jack Rithodich cops a nasty stiff arm here from Holiday Miller. Ooh, sit down. He's not used to getting that, I'll tell you that. And it's the 50, I believe, currently receiving attention. And that would be Daniel Coyle.
No, and good news is he's up and walking off, and he looks fine. That's good.
Walking well and truly under his own power there, so no dramas, but it is back-to-back walk-offs for the Stingrays defense.
He has forgot his helmet. Where's that?
I think, yeah, you're right. I can't see anyone.
Don't see anyone carrying his helmet. There's not one just lying on the ground, is there?
Well, if there is, they're about to find out. Maybe not. Maybe someone was nice enough to carry it off for him, or perhaps his replacements taking it. Third quarter. Ravens chasing 2 points right now with their third offensive possession. Pump fake, drops back even further. Now Stegman will run with it. He'll have to lose ground to try and gain ground. Holiday Miller will try to lay a block and it'll get out of bounds and will be hit and takes out the Stingrays player. It's Jaden Ballion, but that was after the hit caused from his own Stingray. Wouldn't have that been an interesting conversation with Jaden had that tackle led to an injury to him. It's
had
Reese Perkins.
one of his own teammates just throw him into him.
Can still lay a lick. Mr. Perkins, dad of 2 now, I think, or soon to be 2.
That he knows of.
Lovely partner, always here supporting, and if not, watching on stream. Claire. 2nd down and 8. Holiday Miller with the outside zone play. Jack came with it, tries to blow it up. Not quite there early enough, but it's a good tackle on the edge there by the Stingrays defensive back. Another one of these Colts stepping up.
It's a good run for some short yards, but really good flow by the defense of the Rays. Just not letting him get up the sideline again. The Ravens offense is starting to pick up a little bit of momentum now. Getting on a bit of a run. On the ground at least. Haven't seen much through the air.
3rd down and 5. Quick throw here. It was intended to Warwick Russell. And Warwick Russell matched up there with Malloy. Can't reel it in. He's having a tough night tonight. Mr. Bones.
Yeah, I think he's 1 from 3 now from memory. We don't really have a statistician up here. So we got to go with whatever I make up.
If you're willing to be a statistician on the stream, hit me up. We accept your volunteer services.
We will supply a paper and pen.
If you're lucky, a calculator, even if you're even luckier, an abacus. 4th down. Still 5. Last target was Warwick Russell. He's in the right slot right now. Force it in motion to the right. It's at least show to him, and then they try to draw to Holiday Miller, but Tonga Kilo, who is not receiving enough love on offense, feels he needs to go on D2, and he blows up that play in the backfield. And Malloy knows where the camera is. Huge play on 4th down. They try a bit of misdirection, but this Stingrays, particularly that man there and Malloy, those two there have got about 300 games between them at least. They've seen it all.
Yeah, and Malloy's still playing to the camera, even though it's not on him.
Well, it was that time. He knew it. It was. You can feel it. He's got a feeling. It's 1st down. A big turnover on downs there by the Rays. And now they'll try to flip field position with a strong run, and not slowing down his production here in the 2nd half is Jonah Gardner.
Quite a quiet game through the air. This one is completely different to the last game we called last week, which was pretty much a game of ping pong.
Yeah, you're exactly
Throwing
right.
back and
Passes
forward.
being completed left to right, center, deep, short, and intermediate. This time, this is some old school noughties football, if you will. As Jonah Gardner keeps running through. They've got spiders on him. He takes his ball just shy of the Raven 40.
Now we've got someone else slow to get up.
So Raven down. An injury time out here. One of the players down. It might be Jacob Eaton. It is indeed still taking a knee. The man who scored earlier in the day the Ravens' first points of the match with a 89.5-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Very true. And you just confused me there with that 80. Then I realized the field isn't 100 yards. He would have got 100 yards if it was a 100-yard field.
I invested all this money in a little device called a dialer down. Only for it to be effectively irrelevant because we don't have 100-yard fields. I mean, the question is, sure, can do the maths, but I didn't get to where I was by crunching numbers. 1st down and 10. Once this play resumes, Eaton will be taken off the field. Dale Stanley will get his hand on the football, ready to start the offensive drive again. Restart the offensive drive, I should say. The Stingrays, they waste no time. They get straight back into it and jumping, cutting, and losing the football. There'll be a wrestle for the ball. The Stingrays aren't alarmed in any way, shape, form. They're confident they've got it. And now the Ravens are flipping the direction.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who comes up with the ball and then who this flag is on. So you can see top of your screen, there's a little flag just sitting on the grass,
A little hanky.
trying to get attention. Hey guys, look at me.
Oh, Argy-bargy going on. Some of the smartest words I've heard. You haven't got your headset on, unfortunately, due to the changes we had to make there, but someone just said on the Stingrays sideline, this isn't a boxing ring. We've got helmets on.
Yeah, no, that was Malloy, funnily enough.
Just pearls of wisdom here from Damien Malloy. You're really going to find a way to get him mic'd up one day.
I think you'd need an R rating.
Oh, I never said live, mate. We'll have to pay an editor to work several hours to bleep a lot of things, I would imagine, but it still would be ultimate entertainment for the league, I can imagine.
It'd be like watching a game with director's commentary on it.
Pick up the exact penalty, but it is obviously on the Ravens there.
It was an illegal substitution.
Legal substitution.
And obviously there was a fumble, but it must have been recovered by the Rays, and the 5 yards is tacked onto the end of the run, which it doesn't look like they moved the chains.
Happy
Did that?
days for the Rays, it would appear. All that coming up. Mill Rays, if you will. Gardner stood up and still managing to get past the line of scrimmage. Picks up a yard.
And again on first down, it doesn't really go very far, but second down seems to be very successful for them.
It's the money down right now, isn't it?
Ravens kind of need to go, hey, what did we do on first down? Let's do that again.
Didn't make the yard I suggested he did. Second and 10. He's tackled at the line of scrimmage. Roll out to the left for Tonga Kilo. He'll just back his ability now. Spins out of 2 tackles, and eventually Brewer, along with Ellis, will take him down, but not before he gets a good chunk of yardage on the ground.
Yeah, too many arm tackles. Everyone's trying to give him a cuddle.
He's a pretty cuddly bloke, though, to be fair.
Yeah, good work cutting back. The linebacker had his hips just square to the sideline. Let him cut back up there.
6:45 to Nerang, just passing us here at Nerang Roosters Rugby League Club now. Three wide receivers, left slot. There is Kugler. And they're looking that way, but now backs up and tries to throw over the middle. This is intercepted by Clark. Clark has got some pace, but not a whole lot of room to operate with, and the Ravens come away with takeaway number 4.
Yeah, LT was under massive pressure there. Went off his back foot and just aired that ball out. I wouldn't want to be throwing the ball off my back foot in any direction where Chris Clark's going to be.
They send a bit of pressure there. The Ravens, we just missed it. You can see them. They actually send, in addition to their 4 linemen, they send 2 linebackers. It's Jace Leon that eventually gets in his face and forces the awkward throw. I thought Kugler was going to reel that one in, but in better position it was Clark. I remember Clark making his name reverberate around the league with that early 70-yard touchdown he scored against the Stingrays early part of the season, a season ago. Not many can do that against the Rays, especially not in such a casual situation like he did early in the game that time. That's a chain-moving catch there by Warwick Russell.
Yep, now he's 2 from 2 and got a first down, and the Ravens are going back to the air with a little bit of success. So let's see if they managed to move the ball well with Darius that last drive. Haven't done much through the air. So let's see what the game plan is on this drive.
Did a good job on Jared Stegman so far, the Stingrays team. Forced him to take a lot of underneath options. Haven't allowed him to throw long. Here goes Fawcett with a bit of space. Fawcett dragging Rithodetch, I think, with him over the first down marker. This will be another fresh set of downs, back-to-back first downs on the last 2 plays.
One on the ground and 1 through the air. And a lot less pressure this half on Stegman. I'm not sure if the D-line are gassed. They gave everything they had in that first half.
3 ball
or
one.
if the blocking's better.
Que no los dos. Pass over the middle to Holiday Miller in the slot. A stick concept of their own. The Ravens. Quick catch, good yardage on first down. Whistles there. Is that the change of quarter? No. It might be due. I think that's the case, actually.
They're huddling around the ball, picking the ball up.
Yep.
He's holding the ball above his head, and that's the quarter.
So, that's the end of 3, and after 3, we've got an unchanged scoreline from the half. We've got 16-14 here in favor of the Stingrays. Neither team able to really develop too much of a drive here in the second half. The defense is really dictating terms here throughout the case of the third. And we'll see if one big play might be able to separate these two teams here in the final quarter of play.
Yeah, there's a little bit less intensity from the Rays this half. They came out firing in that first half and just looked completely dominant. They're still looking probably more dominant in the trenches, but just giving Stegs just a little bit too long, a little like half a second more than he was in the first half, and he's managing to get the ball
Trips
right.
left. Deep drop from Stegman, steps up to avoid the pressure now, will choose to run with it. He's got a bit of space, cuts back, spin move, and he's still going there, and that's close to 20 yards on that quarterback scramble.
And we've got a flag, so that could be coming back. The chains are already moving.
Flag is down back at the Ravens 33. You can see it on the field there, just in the right-hand corner.
I'm not sure what the flag's for there.
Right here is,
Nope. There's not.
well, irrelevant. No flag on the play.
The flag was for an ineligible receiver on a run play.
So, well, to be fair to the defense of the sideline, Josh, so many RPOs and stuff nowadays, sometimes you forget that a pass wasn't even thrown with the different options thrown at you.
Yeah, but it's good to throw a flag, have a little chat about it, and go, oops.
And,
Referees make mistakes as well.
well, it's always interesting. I bet he walked back with a bit of a smirk on his face, knowing that he probably already assessed the situation. And he said, oh my lord, how quick did that defender shoot through? And how quickly does Stegman quickly recover? How many times did I say quickly in that past 10 seconds? Let's take a look at that.
And you said it quite quickly as well. There's a massive hole there, and that timing was
Perfect.
spot on, and I'm surprised Stegman is still alive.
That's Malloy. If someone can pick a snap count, it is him. 2 Australian players at their trade there. Malloy, Australian safety, and Stegman, the QB1 for the Australian outback.
And Malloy played years at quarterback, so he's used to snap counts. Didn't know he was used to other teams, though.
3-step drop from the pistol, open in the end zone. Oh, that would have been interesting and impressive. Had Warren Russell been able to bring that in. Dare I say, he's a bit off his game tonight.
Yeah, the bone zone is shut down tonight. It's closed for renovations.
It would appear that is the case. Some passes that are pretty rudimentary to him. Maybe we've just gotten used to him, but that's something he reels in 9 times out of 10, I guess, tonight. Oh, tonight must be number 10.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated with himself. Score's still 16-14. When I said that I could see this being the final score, I didn't want it to be, but
Well, there's things that we want and there's things that we think will happen. Gerard Fitzpatrick. 2 in the backfield with Stegman. Stegman will have to run again. It looks like that is the main order of the second half for this Ravens offense. And both quarterbacks serving as primary runners to their respective offenses.
yeah, it was a good decision by Stegs. You can see Damo comes flying in the backfield again. So that just means you've got an extra blocker downfield, or you should, but they had a double team. But if he's coming through, you should have an extra blocker in the second level.
Twice now, Malloy has blitzed right up that A-gap. See if they try to take advantage of it here. Just 4 yards away from taking the lead here. Keep in mind that they have shown that they're willing and able to kick field goals. Maybe not tonight, but 3 points will give them the lead here. Stegman with a quick motion. He wanted to hand it off, and then it will be taken down hard by Walters.
Yes,
Crushed and slow to get up, Stegman.
interesting by Stegs. it seemed like he wanted something, but it wasn't there, and wasn't sure what his next decision was.
Well, that's a play they tried to run in that first half, that fake bubble screen, delayed handoff, and that also got shut down. Last time on 4th down, this time on the goal line. 16-14. Second and goal. Ball now at the Stingray 9. Ravens trying not to stutter here in the red zone. Heavy pressure here from the Stingrays. Fawcett finds his way past it, but will not be able to beat the safety. Coming up and making the touchdown saving play there was Christian Suarez. Suarez with the intercept earlier to get the offense back on the field with the Stingrays, that time coming up with a touchdown saving tackle.
Yeah, I thought Fawcett was in open field, and yeah, went down quite easy on that tackle. Yeah,
You can see the frustration.
As well. He thought he was going to beat that one as well.
If there was any time for a hurdle, it was then.
Yeah.
You can hear the sideline getting loud now. 3rd down and goal. Quick pass here from Stegman, looks for the sideline. Warwick Russell with a one-handed attempt. Unsuccessful, incomplete. And this will bring up a 4th down. Now will the Ravens look to try and kick this for the lead or score for a bigger one?
Well, they're been unsuccessful in both facets of that game. Passing, running, kicking. It's not all going well for the Ravens, so...
Bit of a curl flat concept and missed the back end of that replay there. To try and get it in the
Looks like they're going to go for it.
They will go for it. They are just under 3 yards away from breaking the plane. 3 receivers out to the right. And it's a bad snap, pitched out, quick speed option to Fawcett. He tries to start a step on the inside, and a big stop here by the Gold Coast Stingrays. They continue to stay in this game with a 2-point lead. Big stand on the goal line there.
Yeah, interesting that the not handing it to Darius. I think Darius has had a little bit more success running the ball in today's game.
Well, Darius is, well, at least when he was not in kit, was still their primary play caller, despite Stegman's known tendency to be able to handle play calling on his own. I wouldn't be surprised if Darius, knowing that his tenure at running back possibly is supposed to be short-lived and they're still trying to build some beyond his life at running back, as the Stingrays take their first. So this could be a safety, and that will tie things up. No,
Looks like he just got over the claim. Yeah, no.
Nope.
The signaling,
Yeah,
he got over and he was pushed back.
Only one signaling safety is the those in purple, but yeah, Holiday Miller, I wouldn't be surprised if he suggested, and I think that's probably a fair call there. Knowing he's probably trying to build for the future there, probably might have wanted to get his number called.
Possibly, but that was 2 plays in a row. Nigel got brought down in a one-on-one tackle, and on the goal line, if you're a running back, you really need to, especially when it's DBs, you need to be breaking those tackles.
And again, they'll just try to muscle their way through a bit of space, and that's almost a bit of a throwback now. We've talked about this in the first week, well, the second week of productions, my first week back there, about how many teams actually look to get the quick throw when backed up on their own goal line. Obviously, it is of traditional belief to just try to pack as many plays as you can in there and just try to clear out as much space as you can to get some punting space. But we've seen both in the NFL, NCAA, and here in GQ as well, how many teams have actually managed to get big plays by getting a quick pass here against defenses loading the box and trying to get the safety.
Yeah, well, a lot of the linebackers end up rushing, and that leaves a massive gap in the middle of the field for like a little dump-off pass or something, like a quick pass behind the linebackers.
Tommy Corwin got a 90-yard touchdown to Tristan Back when the Stingrays played him through that exact same method. They try to pass there on 3rd down and short. Now watch the Ravens dial up the punt pressure here to 11.
Yeah, they didn't get the touchdown. I think this is why they would have tried to get the conversion rather than kick, because they knew that if they didn't get it, they were going to end up with good field position.
Well, they go 2 runs and a pass there. Tony Kilo probably not feeling as confident in his arm as he did week 1 against the Thunder, where he was slinging it with some big plays on top of making plays with his feet.
Yeah,
Tozok is back to punt here, and he'll have his heels on the goal line, quite literally. Heels on the back of his own goal line here. The Ravens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, maybe six players now, looking to try to rush this punt.
Need to be careful that it doesn't take a step backwards there.
And this will be shanked, and will clear them maybe 17 yards.
Yeah, it's a good result for the Ravens. Not a great punt by the Rays.
The hook on this. Just like my money.
But yeah, was under a lot of pressure. Didn't have a lot of room.
That's me on par 3. Trying to get it in one and completely making a mess of it.
That's me at mini golf.
I've seen that. First down and 10. Ravens, their decision to go for it and back in their defense, well earned right now. They get another opportunity here to take the lead. Ball on the 20. First down and 10. And the Stingrays red zone. Big cup block on the outside. Holiday Miller gets the carry. Gets this about a yard downfield before taking it out of bounds.
It'd be interesting to play. Oh, there was a hold. Interesting play calling the Ravens come up with here. They've
Oh yeah, I'm right here.
the pass plays are there. They just receivers aren't catching them.
You're exactly right.
'Cause what do you do? Staggs is doing a good job. He's extending his time in the pocket, making good reads, running when he needs to run. His accuracy is a lot better in the second half than it was in the first half.
And nothing downfield. Stegman under pressure, and this pass rush gets to him. Getting to Stegman then. Defensive end, Lewis Carroll. He made a couple of big plays in week 1 against Tommy Corwin, this time at Stegman. He was listed quarterback sacked.
Yeah, good coverage all downfield. Staggs has got no one really open. By the time he decides to pull and run, pockets collapsed.
Back here on 3rd down now. 3rd and 11. Stegman under pressure again, gets this out, and 2. Mitchell Bessie, who's hit as soon as he catches it, but brings it in, and I think that might be just enough. No. From the look of the spot, oh, there's going to be inches in it.
It looks close.
Stingray is confidently shouting 4th down. We still haven't been given a spot or a signal.
We've got a battle of downs.
Are we going to see a measure? Don't tell me. Come on, get the chains on the field. Do it for old Uncle Kenny.
The Rays sideline are yelling 4th down. The Ravens sideline's yelling 1st down, and the referees don't give a crap. It doesn't go by who yells the loudest.
4th down and less than a yard. Looking at about 10 inches in this. You can hear now that Stingray sideline are getting loud. 4th and short. Ball on the 11. Need to get it to the 10. Oh no, check that. They're going for the field goal. They've sent Warwick Russell in. There's a Stegman off. Warwick Russell has not been handy on his field goal attempts tonight. That being said, another field goal has, and they're going to get a free play. They're going to get it.
Oh,
That's going to be enough to move it forward. Malloy, who's
that
been
is a stupid play by a leader of the team.
nailing the snap counts, now signals to a sideline. My apologies, but that being said, I've seen Malloy block them by doing just that.
He thinks he's a white Troy Polamalu.
Sometimes he is. Not on this particular moment. But that offside there, that clear offside will move the Ravens.
It'll give him a 1st down.
First down, and will give them 5 yards.
And
Half distance.
Malloy is really going to regret this if he ends up giving the Ravens his jersey number. 6 points.
Nice one. Ball now being moved inside the 10. Officially being spotted at the 6, or about the 5.5 even.
I'll be watching for
First
Malloy to make a big play here because he's going to be annoyed in trying to get this back.
And a quick throw and a drop there, Warwick Russell.
Right,
Bring it in. What have you done to him, mate?
I don't know. It's I think he's take him off.
I have been told by viewers last week it was almost like you were trying to mock him. Into
It's not
dropping
my
a
fault.
ball.
Don't blame me.
It's
That was
like-
last week. That was last week. He played awesome.
It's like you willed him to making up all the drops he didn't make last week, mate. You're going to get the members of the Bone Zone coming for you at some point this week, mate. I'll be sleeping with one eye open.
I'm sorry.
Second down and goal. Ball just over 5 yards out. Jerry Agata pointing out blocking assignments. Holiday Miller now in motion to the right-hand side. Quick throw here to Bessie. Bessie in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown Ravens. And the Ravens have the lead for the first time today. And it comes in the form of one of their playmakers who's been relatively quiet tonight. A key catch there on a fourth down earlier in the drive, and this time sealing it with 6.
And yeah, it's like you keep trying it. It's got to come off once. Finally connected on a pass.
I'm working on Jordan Appy there.
And I'm sure Steggs is just like, thank God for that. Took long enough. The score really does not represent this game now.
20 points becomes 21. And that's Warwick Russell just proven to everyone that he well and truly would have made the last field goal had the penalty not been given. 21 points to 16. And the Ravens offense breaks the drought of the second half, and now the Stingrays, well into the fourth quarter, will be chasing 5 points. One touchdown to win this game.
And this comes back to what you were talking about before when you said you were talking to Darius. Coming into the fourth quarter, he said their defenders were tired, started not making plays, and Rhinos came back in the game. It's fourth quarter, and it's now on the defense. So we'll see if he goes with his star players or if he does a rotation to try and keep people fresh.
Darius, he told me that he genuinely believes his team is talented enough to win this, provided they just play a mistake-free game. In some ways it has been. I mean, there has been a couple of takeaways. They're currently leading the takeaway count between the two teams. But they've been happy to play the next down if it's not been there rather than giving away anything silly in the form of turnovers. Just the one intercept, I believe.
Yeah, and we're now in the fourth quarter. I'd say maybe about halfway through. Seems like it's been going for a while. So, and in this half, Ravens are up 7-0 for the half. Stingrays have not really done much with the ball. They've marched it here and there for a few first downs.
Well, their issue has been sustaining the game, and
Yeah.
also once they're in the red zone, Tony Kilo has thrown 3 picks tonight, and most of them have been in the face of pressure.
And now we've got a new quarterback.
They're changing up. Malloy can do anything at the quarterback position. This time he'll run. It's just a battle of the running quarterbacks, it appears. He spins around, passes to Napier. Napier tries to break one tackle, but Malloy just doing Malloy things, spinning, turning, and throwing for a good gain on first down.
Tell you what, the offensive line done well to be disciplined and not go downfield when they saw him break off for a good run.
Just look at this. Step back, step back, step back, fade away into the arms, the reliable hands of Dylan Napier. And that's good. It's a good 7-yard chunk there on first down on what was almost a broken down play. The man who's led them to back-to-back Sun Bowls from this position resumes control of this offense, and James Taylor gets close to a first down.
Yeah, I think that's I'm pretty sure that's the first down. That's enough for a first down.
Yep, well and truly by 1.5 yards. First down signaled. Ravens now, they're looking to try and put an end to a drive.
And the referee just yelled at the time and I missed it.
Heard 49.
That's all I heard as well.
I thought he was talking about Lance Tongakilo. First down and 10. Malloy looking downfield, intercepted! Going to get us at Dan O'Day. Now he's going to try and reverse field and take this upfield. Both quarterbacks now for the Stingrays responsible for turnovers. The Ravens now, the confidence starting to build on their sideline. 6 points and then a turnover on the ensuing drive.
This, I think coming into this game, I would have put the Ravens at favorites. But if the Ravens end up winning this game, I'd say it's probably an upset.
Well,
just by the way the game's gone.
Based on the start, the Stingrays definitely started stronger. The Ravens have managed to consolidate in the second half. We try to get a clean look at this replay as I send nukes to Cuba. Pass just over the top of his intended receiver there, Malloy. This was similar to the women's game where, unfortunately, most listeners mightn't have got our conversation of the second half there, but with a effectively third-string quarterback there and Briscoe coming in, obviously a very experienced quarterback, but how long has it been since they've trained at that position?
And with receivers that she's not used to throwing the ball to.
Exactly. And the four-man line will do enough to stop this run in the backfield. This four-man front for the Stingrays has been impressive. Timeout, the Rays taking the first timeout, so that gives an idea.
Yeah, it must be coming down to the 2-minute warning. Also, if the Rays end up losing this game, it's they could have got off on 4th down when Malloy jumped over the line, gave him the penalty, which ended up to a touchdown, and he's coming at quarterback and throwing an interception.
12, this will be a Holiday Miller carry. He's still going after shaking the first tackler, gets it past the original line of scrimmage, makes about 4.5 yards on that carry. And that'll make it a 3rd down, a 3rd and long. And the Stingrays taking their second time out. That gives an indication how close you must be.
This is when what I like about the sport is you don't just think about what the next play's got to be. You've got to look at the time, you've got to look at the down, the distance, and you've got to think, okay, do I want to take time off the clock by running it, make them use another timeout? Do I want to try and get the ball past the line of scrimmage, try and get the first down? You got to think of all the different possibilities and then make a decision. And I'm glad I'm up here.
You say that now. So did Adam Bolton. 3rd down, about 8 yards to go. Just short of it, in fact. Bunch formation, or a tight one even back. And Stegman, and now he's moving backwards. How is he going to handle this? Throwing downfield now to Bessie. Intercepted, knocked down. That's probably a good result there for the Stingrays, stopping the clock. Flags down back to the line of scrimmage, though.
It looks like it could be on holding. Steggs was scrambling. Someone may have had a hand in there. I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
Might have just dropped out briefly there, folks. And it was a hold on offense. And that'll be obviously declined by the defense.
The defense done well to step up there. Really kept them to nothing. All it done was take some time off the clock and made them use some timeouts. Depending on how much time's left, though, those timeouts could be crucial.
Dropped out just for a hot second, guys. Don't worry, didn't miss anything. It is 4th down now, though. A long pass attempted to Midge Bessie after a scramble there from Stegman, but we'll be seeing a punt here. Stop. Clock currently stopped. Warwick Russell drops this AFL style onto his boot, and that'll go out of bounds around the Stingrays 25. So 3/4 of the field the Stingrays will have to travel to try and get the game-winning touchdown. A field goal will do them no good. Touchdown, the only currency in exchange for a win right now.
And we'll see if, yep. Oh, yep, there he is. Damo Malloy still out there. Seem to have more of a passing threat with Damo on the field at the moment.
Malloy, definitely more of a polished passer. Did spend a good 3-4 seasons really making the conversion from an athlete at quarterback to a quarterback who is athletic. James Taylor, no, it'll be read option, and Malloy will take this upside. Chris Clark, athlete on athlete right there at the sideline, and they get up respecting each other there. That's a 9-yard carry there from Malloy.
I think he might have managed to get out of bounds as well. I don't know if he went out of bounds by choice or was forced out by Chris, but I think that stops the clock.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. It went out of bounds. And it's 2nd and inches. Nope, first down.
I
That's
thought-
signal, first down.
Thought it was interesting that the down marker was further than further than the markers. I was like,
First down carry there, exactly 10 yards on the Malloy read option. Receivers either side. Malloy, one-step drop off the shotgun, trying to get the hitch route to the outside to Hataya. Unsuccessful. The pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
and this is kind of like the like we were saying with the woman, like the routes are there, but we don't know how many snaps Malloy's actually had at quarterback at training.
Malloy always strikes me as someone who'd probably be happily warming up with the quarterbacks. I'm going to throw around, whether it's throwing and catching with him. He'd be keeping that arm somewhat loose throughout the season. 2nd down and 10. Malloy going to the out again. Napier will get out of bounds. Good hook up there. The first down marker is at the Ravens 43. This is marked out just shy of halfway.
And really, the Rays' offense at the moment look like they've just put a whole new team on. It looks like their play calling is completely different. Their philosophy is completely different. It's interesting to watch, but they're having a lot more success now than they were earlier in this half.
Well, if this comes off great, it'll be a great decision shown by David Hill there to pull Tonga Kilo in there. And did he go back on side? The referee seemed to believe that's the case. Going deep for Paludan. Oh, Jaden Paludan competing for that. He wasn't sure if he was trying to be a DB or a wide receiver.
Oh,
with that ball in
it
the air.
sat up there for a while. You just saw them just standing there waiting for it to come down.
I think you see number 85 here, Jaden Paludan. He doesn't know whether he's supposed to be a DB or a wide receiver here, because right there, both of them end up being DBs.
Almost came down with it as well.
4th down here. This
Fourth down.
could, well, with the Stingrays using pretty sure all but one of their timeouts, this would.
This is normally when you see a design run by Damo. I don't know if he's as athletic as he used to be, so I'm not sure
Wouldn't
if
be
they'll
surprised
dial
if
them up.
they run a read option here. Nope, there'll be a pass, quick pass out to Hariku Hataya, and 2 veterans hooking up there on 4th down to convert. Clutch play there. They go to the experience to get this done, and it rewards them with a 1st down.
Yeah, the corners, like they had 5 yards to go, and they're just giving too much of a cushion there.
They're about to come back into live action, but just a simple out gets the job done there. There's 2 blokes who know what they're doing. 1st down and 10. Ball on the Ravens 39. Malloy, clean pocket, but now he's getting pressure from the backside behind him, and look at him go. He shot out of cannon this time. Cut him back now, and Malloy takes this inside the 20. He's down at the Ravens 17. The Stingrays looking to make big play after big play, and no surprises when the game's on the line. Malloy wants to be amongst the midst of it. And usually when that happens, big plays happen.
That was a great run, and showing that he's still got the speed. Haven't seen a 2-minute warning yet, but like last week, we were in the 2 minutes and we had no idea.
As we go 3 wide receivers out to the left. Malloy.
You can see the defense just creeping and creeping, waiting for this play call.
Malloy wants slight adjustments to his wide receivers. Tells his center he's ready. Receivers going down. He goes to his one-on-one option, and that's Jaden Paludan on Dan O'Day. The catch is made, but it's inbounds tackled there by O'Day. And it's Ricky Hataya as the isolated receiver out to the right.
Yeah, they're just giving too much cushion on this this backside, and they just keep going with little short routes. That looks like it's a 6-yard pass.
Same formation. James Taylor to the left of Malloy. Dying seconds, it's a bad snap. Malloy picks it up. Malloy right up the hay gap of his O-line. Not a whole lot there, but a bunch of purple jerseys though. This kind of slows things down. Now we've got a timeout and a flag. No, a flag, far side of the field.
Not sure what that flag's for.
You know, some sort of bubble screen looking thing towards the wide receiver's direction.
Came from the sideline, which usually would be an encroachment or... Oh, yep, encroachment, offsides, whatever. Don't know what they're called.
Offside on the defense, and that's going to be 5 yards. That should be enough to get them a first down.
This is it. They need a touchdown.
Righty, first.
Field goal won't do it.
And 3 yards out. Horrible time to get the cutoffs. 3 yards out. How many times have the Ravens, how many times have the Stingrays done this to the Ravens? Goal line inside the final minute of the game. Thereabouts, that pass incomplete. The Stingray sideline demanding a penalty there for a PI. The referees, I would assume, suggesting it was uncatchable, especially by the time it happened.
I want to see this hit on Demo again. That was solid.
Oh yeah, there was multiple different arguments being made by the Stingrays there. I think that might have been Capewell moved to the inside. Yeah, I think Capewell has moved from his defensive end spot into defensive tackle. Malloy with 4 wide receivers divided equally, slant over the middle, touchdown Stingrays! No flags! That will give them a 1-point lead on the touchdown alone, and is it any surprises who it is? Mr. Clutch himself, Jaden Paludan.
And Damo's making up for his earlier mistakes. And they've pretty much just come back to the exact same play that they ran on the right side and ran it on the left-hand side for greater success.
Professionalism personified there. Gets up, might have just scored the game-winning touchdown there, and he walks back as if it was the 4th touchdown of a 40-point blowout.
And they're going for 2.
22-21, trying to make this a 3-point lead. With 2 points, Tongi Kilo back in the field, incomplete. So this will be a 1-point ball game. I wish I could update you with the time, but we are not sure ourselves.
We don't think it's in the 2-minute warning yet. They haven't signaled for a 2-minute warning as far as we've seen. So, and I don't think the Ravens have taken many timeouts. So they've got the time. They only need a field goal. But at the moment, their field goal range is 2 yards. So anything can happen.
The Ravens coming back now, and they look quite shell-shocked right now. Hands on hips. Seeing a lot of walking, not a whole lot of urgency, and that's contrasting the Stingray sideline right now, which is just absolutely filled with Eno.
"51 seconds we've heard, that's 51 seconds, and yeah, this Rays sideline's got enough energy to run a Tesla.
Both games the Stingrays have been on GQ broadcast have been tight ones. They took the Thunder right to the end, and now they're taking semi-finalists last year, the Ravens, to the final 51 seconds. Warwick Russell hasn't had the best night, could make up for it. Now he's kept the ball. He can't be. Yes, he can. He can be the tackle. Now he's upfield, but eventually the troops will get him. Wouldn't have that been a turn of events if he got downfield there? The Ravens will take over. Well, whilst flashy, it only got them to their own 32-yard line. So about 60-odd yards needed here by the Ravens.
And that would have taken maybe 5 seconds off the clock, so let's say 44
seconds.
45 seconds to go.
This sideline, you can hear it. The support of Meringue around them. Stegman. Had a little trouble connecting with the receivers. It's been a case of both missed passes and drops. They'll need to turn up here on this final drive. This will be the final drive of the night. Stegman under pressure. Lance Tonga Kilo getting in and driving his shoulder pad into Stegman there and forcing the incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think he must have been getting hit while throwing that, because if not, that was a intentional grounding. There was nowhere near there. Yeah, you see him just get grabbed and just swung his passing arm around. Lucky not to be intercepted.
The playmakers of this team have just put themselves in position to shut this game out. Maloya quarterback, Tonga Kilo back at defensive line. I'll be honest, I'm surprised Tonga Kilo wasn't a wide receiver or a slot tight end that last drive. Turns out they didn't need him, but they will use his services here at the 3-tech defensive line position. Only 2 with their hands in the dirt. For the Stingrays, they'll rush 4. Downfield are a lot of receivers for the Ravens. Stegman beats the first rusher now. He'll turn on his wheels and will get a first down, and we'll have to take a timeout here. He does as soon as he gets up. I believe I saw a timeout signal, and timeout here by the Ravens. A big run evading pressure there by Jared Stegman, getting it to the Stingrays 42.
Now, he pretty much took the only thing he had, and that was the run. Managed to get the first down, which is good, and get the timeout. So I'd say we're in 30 seconds. They've used up a timeout, so maybe two timeouts left. But really, it seems like the Rays seem more hungry here. They seem like they want it more.
Well, we'll soon find out. Ravens. Offensive line will need to give Stegman a bit of time here. They're against 4 down linemen against the Stingrays. Holiday Miller's going deep, as is Bessie. He'll be down inbounds here. They'll either need to spike it. That Stingrays are trying to suggest he dropped that, or suggesting they didn't have control until he got out of bounds. But the clock is running.
Now they're arguing about clock.
Yeah, they're arguing that Bessie used the ground to aid that catch there, and they have got an argument. Bessie didn't exactly look like he was quick to defend himself as well.
And now there's an issue about the clock, which Demo is right. This isn't the NFL. The clock should still be running.
Because of that, he's also trying to get the chains moving to give the officials every reason. And it doesn't matter because the Ravens will use their last timeout. At least I believe that to be their last timeout.
Yep. That sounds good to me. Let's go with that.
Proven correct until proven incorrect, I suppose. But it's at least their second. Stegman used one earlier. And Malloy there, just knowing all the tricks of the trade there, had the Ravens not had their timeout. They're trying to get the chain set, so the officials have no reason not to continue that clock running.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of offense they dial up.
Can the Stingrays hold him out now? The logic would dictate one of these superstar veterans, whether it's Malloy, whether it's Perkins, or even Jamal Sinapati, and new Stingray this year. They'll shut this game out, or will one of these youngsters, someone like Appy, Jack Rakam Rithodech, who've worked himself into significant steps, will they be the one to step up now and stamp their name into it? This is a catch inbounds.
And it's Bessie again.
And it's another catch, but as he said, it's definitely a catch, and I'm okay with that call, but what have they called for the clock? The Ravens aren't exactly hustling to the line.
Yep, he's down in bounds, so the clock should run. It's a catch this time.
No doubts about that, but it's an issue with the clock there, and the Stingrays just want this clock.
I don't think there's an issue with the clock. I think there's issue with Tim's knees. He's not getting the ball back.
3-1. Yeah, the clock resumes as soon as that ball's back in play. Force it now. This is a brave call to go. Call a run here, and
they must have had a timeout.
They must have had a timeout left.
They must we said that there was no timeouts left. Stop proving us wrong.
To be fair, I said at least second. And that surely is factually their last timeout.
Now we've got arguments about if there's still time left on the clock, and no.
no, there it is. The Ravens thought they could run one more play, use their final timeout, but time looks like it has run out on that last Nigel Fawcett carry, and the Stingrays have come off the field because it wasn't by any means fourth down or anything like that.
Now that's an interesting play call. If they knew that there was not that much time left on the clock.
Hang on, debates are going. I just got to hold off my final call here until we get a ball head above there, but the Stingrays sideline seems to be telling the story right now.
Why would you run the ball if you've got you've got a timeout left and there's that little time left on the clock? I don't understand that. I don't think there's a debate. I think the referee's telling them how it is. There can't be a debate.
The Stingray sideline just gets louder and louder, and I'm seeing more and more disappointed faces in purple. I'm just waiting for the official signal before I wrap this bad boy up.
Well, to me, there's no debate. This is what it is, and it's just the referee explaining to them why they're wrong. And you can see by his body language, Bessie has got his teacher's voice on.
The Stingrays are upset that their their celebrations have to be put on hold here, but both Holiday Miller, the official written head coach, is obviously putting on a significant debate here, as is Bessie and Jared Stegman.
I think their plan was to get the ball there and then take a field goal.
I could only assume that was the logic there. It makes complete sense. And there is the signal. That is the ball game. The Stingrays on their final offensive drive took the lead with a Jaden Paludan slant for a touchdown. And now their defense has finished the job. Time expiring on that last play for the Ravens. Unable to get a timeout in to try to give themselves a field goal opportunity. Some players still on the field debating it. But the fact of the matter here is the home side, the Gold Coast Stingrays, have come away with a 22-21 victory here at home to remain undefeated here in 2019.
And it looks like Malloy's already looking forward to the Rhinos. Let's get a huddle first before you start thinking about the Rhinos.
21-22. The Stingrays have done enough. Hasn't this been a seesawing affair? The Stingrays came out firing. They got a safety on the Ravens' first possession with a punt, long snap going over the head of their punter. Then they came away and they scored a quick touchdown on the running game. The Stingrays looked to be adding a third score to that score sheet, but then the Ravens ran it back 89.5 yards for Jacob Eaton to get on the board. Halftime saw them with a 2-point lead, and it turns out only a single-point lead was enough to get the job done tonight, but winners they are.
Yeah, 1 point victory, and that really shows them how important that safety was. And it was handed to them with a bad snap, which I'm pretty sure happened. The Stingrays beat the Bears in 2012.
Sure.
The exact same thing happened.
Well, each point matters here in Gridiron in Queensland, and you can see why significant plays there by the defense, and the Stingrays are choosing to play their stars when they needed to. Malloy moving into quarterback late in the fourth quarter with Tonga struggling to get that offense going. Gardner, workhorse absolute for the first 3 quarters at least for the Stingrays offense, and then Tonga instead playing defensive lineman when they needed him, getting some pressure on Jared Stegman. The Ravens just literally running out of time here.
Again.
With the Stingrays giving themselves the victory, their defense holding out just long enough. Full time here, 22-21. Gerard, thank you for joining for these last 2 games.
Not a problem. It's been 2 very exciting games that both came down to the wire.
Very much so. And again, apologies for our second half audio issues in the earlier game there. We thank you for sticking it out with us, both that game and this game. And from wherever you're watching, we appreciate your company this evening. Look forward to you as LSB once again jumps back on the streaming services for Gridiron Queensland next week. I will be behind that call as well. But in the meantime, enjoy your Gridiron, enjoy your week, and thank you for joining us.